Welcome to Orange County Great Park Stadium. The Riptide come into this matchup with the Santa Barbara Foresters riding on a 3-game win streak. They have now moved themselves into a playoff position against the guys who are atop the division. Sorry for the slight delay here. Spencer Edwards, the starting pitcher for the Riptide, has just struck out Josh Stinson as Penso throws it over to first for the first out of the ball game. As I was mentioning before, sorry for that quick little delay. We were having some technical difficulties.
Now batting number 6.
Spencer Edwards is the starting pitcher for the Riptide today, coming into the game. He's been pitching really well. His last 4 starts for the Riptide, they've all resulted in wins as he gets Dylan Campbell, the shortstop for the Foresters, to swing and miss on the first strike. So far this season, Edwards has posted a 3.85 ERA, struck out 26 batters, only walked 11. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Chaz Messman, and it's just me up here today, so we're going to have to Vince Scully it, and here's a high fly ball towards right field. Colton Freeman gives chase, and he is there to record the second out of the inning. No Jonathan up in the booth with me today, so we'll have to bear with me and just enjoy the game with my lovely voice. So that brings up the first baseman, Nathan Rombuck. Freshman from Texas Tech as he swings and misses at a fastball 0-1. Edwards working fairly quickly here in the top half of the first. He's now gotten ahead in every count. There's a nice backdoor breaking ball in the outside corner, 0-2. Tanner Otremba waits in the on-deck circle. We'll see if he gets a chance. As Rombach looks at a pitch in the dirt. 1-2 now. This season, Romba is hitting .288 for the Foresters as the count now moves to 2-2. Called strike 3 to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning to start the ball game for Spencer Edwards. We go to the bottom of the first, 0-0. The leadoff man for the Riptide today is going to be Davis Diaz. The starting pitcher for the Foresters is Peyton Cole from BYU this season. He's got a 1-0 record in 9 games. He's still yet to give up a run, so he's been elite for the Foresters out on the mound. And he starts things off with a strike against Davis Diaz. Davis Diaz has been swinging the bat really well as of late. He's gotten his average up to .324 on the summer. as he looks at a fastball outside, 1-1. Diaz, one of the more cautious hitters in this Riptide lineup. Sees the ball very well, rarely strikes out, gets on base a lot as well. Here's the 1-1 from Cole. Grounder right up the middle, hits the glove of Cole. Davis Diaz is going to be aboard with an infield single. So that brings up Colton Freeman.
Now batting for the Riptide from Dartmouth College, right fielder number 17, Colton Freeman.
Colton Freeman, the local kid from Laguna Beach, plays his college ball at Dartmouth. He's been one of the more consistent hitters all summer for the Riptide. Posted a .323 average in his 96 at-bats. So he looks at a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Freeman, one of the more aggressive hitters, almost the antithesis of Davis Diaz. However, he does not strike out much at all. Only 14 strikeouts in his 96 at-bats. There's a called strike on the breaking ball, 0-2. Looked like there was a pretty good framing job by the man behind the plate for the Foresters, Zachary Leach. Davis Diaz, the man over on first, still no outs. So that pitch runs way outside, 1-2. Coming into the game today, the Santa Barbara Foresters sit on top of the CCL South Division with an 18-7 record. However, they will not be going to the CCL playoffs. They'll be heading instead to a national tournament in Kansas. Here's a chopper down the third base line, just foul. The Riptide are sitting in 14th with a 13-13 league record. 3 teams from the South Division will make it to the playoffs. So with the Foresters not attending the tournament, which is going to be up in Lincoln, California, that means 4th place is enough to qualify for the playoffs, and that's exactly where the Riptide are sitting. Here's a chopper up the middle. Dylan Campbell is unable to glove that ball. He tried to turn 2, however, mishandled it, and Colton Freeman is aboard safely at first on an E6. Davis Diaz arrives at second shortly as well.
For the Riptide from UNLV, left fielder number 24, Austin Krisick.
So here's Austin Krisick, the left fielder from UNLV. Another one of those Riptide bats that has really been swinging the bat well as of late. He's been a huge part of that 3-game winning streak. And here's the first pitch to Krisick. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Earlier this season, we saw as many as 4 or 5 UNLV players in the Riptide lineup. However, after the departures of Eric Bajani, Jack Thomas Wolden, and Darian Williams, most notably, Austin Krisick is the only Rebel remaining here in this lineup, as he's now looking at a 1-1 count after that swing and miss. Still no outs, runners on first and second. As Krisick swings and misses once again, 1-2. Austin Krisick doesn't strike out a ton at all. Does a really good job of putting the ball in play. Only struck out 18 times in his 94 at-bats this summer. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That pitch runs just a bit inside, 2-2. This season for the Foresters, Peyton Cole has struck out 13 batters, only walked 4. As I mentioned before, has yet to give up a run. His last outing came on July 21st against the San Luis Obispo Blues in a 12-4 victory. That ball is foul tipped. Count will remain 2-2. He pitched 2 innings, Gave up 1 run, but it was not earned. Only gave up a hit. Coles also appeared for both BYU and the Foresters as an infielder. For the Foresters, he's hit 167 as Krissick fouls that ball off the third baseline. 2 straight foul balls from Austin Krissick as he rubs some dirt on his gloveless hands. One of the few Riptide players to elect not to use batting gloves. The man over on first base, Colton Freeman, also one of those Riptide hitters that decides to go old school. Here's the 2-2. That pitch is low, 3-2. Good eye there from Krissick. That pitch was very close to catching that outside corner. Clay Owens awaits in the on-deck circle. He's the DH for the Riptide tonight. Full count pitch. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Austin Krissick was already on his way over to first. However, Peyton Cole gets his first strikeout of the ball game, and that means the left-handed slugger Clay Owens will face Cole with 2 men on and only 1 out.
Designated hitter number 3, Clay Owens.
Clay Owens only joined the Riptide recently. The USC Trojan started the summer out in the Cape Cod League, but since joining the Riptide, he's produced. In his 22 at-bats, he has had 8 hits, 4 runs. And that's resulted in an average of .364. That pitch catches the inside corner, 1-1. Owens, one of those bats that has really injected some energy, as has the man in the on-deck circle, Gavin Hamovitz, to this Riptide lineup. The Riptide have lost a lot of players over the course of the summer as Owens swings and misses, 1-2. Owens is way out in front of that changeup. The superfan is in attendance once again as Owens chops that one foul. Count remains 1-2. Keith has been a constant fixture at Riptide games this summer. Seems like today he's not only cheering for the Riptide, but also for the Foresters. Decent-sized crowd here tonight at Orange County Great Park Stadium. Fans still filing in. This ball game is just getting started. So that pitch runs outside, 2-2. Owens has only struck out 2 times so far for the Riptide. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Peyton Cole. 2 down. And that brings up Gavin Hamovitz. And since joining the Riptide, Hamovitz has just been on an absolute tear.
Now batting for the Riptide from Santa Barbara City College, second baseman number
He's going to be playing his ball for Santa Barbara City College. So far this summer, he is hitting .450 in his 20 at-bats for the Riptide. Also got himself 2 doubles. There's a called strike on the outside corner to start this at-bat, 0-1. Davis Diaz, the man on second. Colton Freeman, the man on first. Diaz reached on an infield single. Freeman reached on an error by the shortstop, Dylan Campbell. As Cole takes a long look at Diaz over at second. Big lead. Here's a blooper towards right field. That ball's going to get down. Diaz rounding third, and he's going to be safe. Colton Freeman coming around third once again. The throw to the plate will be cut off by the first baseman, Rombach. A 2-run RBI double for Gavin Hamovitz gets the Riptide on the board here in the bottom of the first, 2-0. That's the fast start that the Riptide have been looking for. At times this season, when the Riptide have struggled, it's been when they've fallen behind early in ball games, and they just haven't quite been able to get themselves back in ball games. And this brings up TC Simmons, and TC has probably been the guy that has been swinging the bat the best out of any of the Riptide hitters as of late. As Simmons rips one down the third baseline and foul. 0-1 now. Only a couple of weeks ago, Simmons' average was under 200. Now he's hitting 324. He went 5 straight games with multiple hits. He's got hits in 6 of his last 8 games as well. The power has also been coming as of late for Simmons as he fouls another one off the first baseline, 0-2. Simmons has been one of those clutch hitters, and he's got a chance with 2 outs and Hamovitz over on second. The Riptide have already scored 2. Those are the first, the run from Davis Diaz was the first earned run against Peyton Cole all summer. Here's the 0-2. Check swing, but the pitch is in the dirt. 1-2. It looks like they credited an error to the right fielder, Ethan Bates, as that ball got behind him. There's a grounder over to short. Rombach is there and tosses it over to Cole to end the inning. The Riptide put up on 2 to take the lead. We go to the top of the second inning. Riptide 2, Foresters nothing. Top of the second inning, the Riptide jumped out to a 2-0 lead thanks to a 2-run RBI double from Gavin Hamovitz. The man on the mound, Spencer Edwards, good start for him. Worked a 1-2-3 inning back in the first, struck out 2 batters. He's facing Tanner Otremba, the designated hitter, to start off this inning. As Otremba swings and misses, the count now moves to 1-1. Edwards working fairly quickly out on the mound. 1-2 now. This is 4 straight batters that he has jumped out in front of. Here's the 1-2 count. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 3 strikeouts and 4 hitters faced for Spencer Edwards. That was a nice breaking ball Oh, Tremble was way out in front of that pitch.
Now batting number 20, Kendall Pettis.
So Edwards is now going to face Kendall Pettis from Oklahoma. This season for the Sooners, Pettis at .277. As he looks at a ball 1-1. Pettis shows bunt. That ball runs foul. The starting lineup around the diamond for the Riptide. Spencer Edwards, the starting pitcher. Blake Penso, the man behind the plate. Reed Spenrath over at first. Gavin Hamovitz, he was the one that got things started in terms of scoring with his RBI double. He's at second. Davis Diaz scored the first run. He's at short. Emilio Rosas from USC, he's over at third. In the outfield, Austin Krisick in left, T.C. Simmons in center, and Colton Freeman over in right. So that breaking ball is low, 2-2. It seems that Spencer Edwards has definitely made an emphasis on working quickly through this Foresters lineup. This is definitely the fastest that we've seen him work all summer long as that pitch runs inside 3-2. Pettis hitting .234 for the Foresters as he fouls that pitch off behind the plate. He struggled a bit with strikeouts. He struck out 17 times. However, leads the team by a long shot in terms of stolen bases. He's got 14 on the season. We saw him try to bunt for a hit earlier in this at-bat. Try and show off his wheels early. Here's the full count pitch. Foul ball out of play. So Pettis doing a good job of staying alive here in this at-bat.
That foul ball is sponsored by Ultimate Auto Glass.
Joshua Morrissey waits in the on-deck circle. Still only one out. Edwards struck out the first hitter of the inning. However, Pettis is going to be aboard with a full count walk. It's the first base runner of the ball game for the Foresters.
Now batting number 2.
As I mentioned before, Pettis does have really good speed out there on the bases, so Blake Penso behind the plate might be challenged with a couple steals here. Here's the first pitch to Morrissey as he fouls that pitch off behind the plate, 0-1. I believe that now makes it 5 out of the 6 hitters that Edwards has thrown a first pitch strike to. Edwards showing really good command of all of his pitches early here in this ball game. As that pitch runs just a bit low, 1-1. That pitch looked like it caught the outside corner. However, the umpire said it was just a little bit low. Not a huge lead from Pettis over at first. As Edwards takes a look at him and steps off. Gives him a little bit of a shimmy to try and hold him over there. Pettis stole 7 bases for the Oklahoma Sooners this past season. Did it with a pretty good average, too. 7 successful stolen bases in 9 attempts. There's a fastball that's way by Morrissey, 2-2. Joshua Morrissey plays for CSU Bakersfield. He had .214 for the Roadrunners this past season. Went on a 9-game hitting streak back in April. Does have some good speed. Stole 4 bases, 6 attempts. Here's the throw over to second, excuse me. In time. Nice throw from Penso to get Pettis to end the inning. The Riptide still on top, 2-0.
Leading things off for the Riptide from UCI.
To start the bottom of the second inning, the leadoff man is going to be Blake Penso. We saw Penso show off his arm back on the top of the second. He threw out Kendall Pettis. Austin Pettis was a former NFL wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts. Actually, played at the same school that the starting pitcher for the Foresters, Peyton Cole, plays at BYU. So that pitch runs inside 1-1. As I was saying before, Penso showed off the arm to get Kendall Pettis out over at second base to end the top of the second. So he swings and misses. 1-2 now. Penso started off his Riptide career hot. Got a home run in his first collegiate at bat. Since then, he's tapered off just a little bit. Here's the 1-2 to Penso. Fastball runs outside, 2-2. Blake Penso, an Orange County native, attended Huntington Beach High School. He's going to be staying relatively close to home. He's going to be playing his ball right here in Irvine for UC Irvine next year as he swings and misses. Strike three, the third strikeout of the day for Peyton Cole. So here's Reed Spenrath, the first baseman.
From TCU, first baseman number 14, Reed Spenrath.
Last time out against the Saints, Spenrath went 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Not the day he was quite looking for, but here's a rip down the first baseline. Rombach is there and flips it to Cole for the second out of the inning. Here's the 9-hole hitter, Emilio Rosas. I was talking to Emilio a couple days ago. He was telling me the biggest problem that the Riptide have faced all season has been falling behind in games early and not being able to come back in time, losing a little bit of energy. As he looks at a called strike on the inside corner to start this at bat. He said the biggest thing for them is just to jump out on front and try and keep that energy going. And that's exactly what the Riptide did back in that first inning. Up 2-0. Here's a chopper up the middle. Joshua Morrissey is there. Quick throw over to first to end the inning. 1-2-3 inning for Peyton Cole. The Riptide on top still 2-0 as we go to the third. There's a chopper down the first baseline from Jack Riedel to start the third. Spenrath was able to step on first to record the first out of the inning very quickly. That was Josiah Morrissey once again. He had a half at bat, as I like to call him, after Kendall Pettis got caught stealing. So here's the catcher, Zachary Leach. Called strike on the fastball, 1-1. Edwards has shown a really nice fastball. Been able to throw that pitch all over the strike zone early in this one. Working fast once again. There's a breaking ball just high. 2-1. So that breaking ball runs a bit inside. Leach has struggled a little bit at the plate this season. Only 4 hits in his 36 at-bats for the Foresters. Here's the 3-1. Popped up and out of play behind the plate. Full count. His future Arkansas teammate, Ethan Bates, the right fielder, awaits in the on-deck circle. Here's a ground ball over to short. Davis Diaz is there and makes the throw over to first for the out. 2 down. Really nice work from Spencer Edwards out on the mound early in this ball game. 3 strikeouts, only giving up 1 walk, no hits. And he's already facing the 9-hole hitter with 2 down here in the top of the third. First pitch to Bates is a breaking ball that runs outside. He gets behind Penso, but no one's on base, so no danger. 1-0. Ethan Bates got redshirted by Arkansas last summer. Here's a high fly ball towards right center field. Colton Freeman giving chase, and he is there to make the catch to end the inning. Nice defensive work from Freeman out in right field. We go to the bottom of the third. Riptide on top, 2-0. Top of the lineup to start the bottom of the third for the Riptide. Davis Diaz facing Peyton Cole, who's making his third, is out there for his third inning of work. Diaz, back in the first, reached on a single, also scored the first run of the ball game, being driven in by a double from Gavin Hamovitz. There's a called strike. 0-2 now, so Diaz quickly behind. But being down 0-2 in a count never seems to phase him. So he looks at a ball in the dirt, 1-2. Diaz, of course, will be attending Vanderbilt University next year. 12th round selection of the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple of weeks ago in the MLB draft. Here's the 1-2. Outside and low, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 to Diaz. Chopper towards third. Riedel is there. Throws it over to first for the out. Excuse me, it looks like that might be Dylan Campbell, actually. Yeah, it looks like Dylan Campbell and Jack Riedel have actually swapped positions. Riedel started the day over at third. Now he's moved over to short, and Campbell has just switched with him. Nonetheless, one down. Cole now facing Colton Freeman. Freeman scored the second run of that first inning. He reached on an error by Dylan Campbell back when he was over at short. Here's the 0-1. Check swing, but he did not go around 1-1. Peyton Cole worked a 1-2-3 inning in that last one back in the second. He's got 3 strikeouts. Surrendered 2 hits and 2 runs, one of them earned. Here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2. Colton Freeman, definitely one of the more electric personalities on the Riptide roster. For those of you who are watching our broadcast throughout the season, Freeman joined me and Jonathan up in the booth here a couple of weeks back. Got to talk some baseball with him. Got to see, share some stories for you guys. For a man that plays each and every day for the Riptide. As he gets a chopper over towards third. Here's Campbell, gloves it, on the run throw, over to first for the out. Nice play there from Dylan Campbell. Getting a little bit of redemption against Colton Freeman, who reached on an error by him last time up. So back-to-back groundouts over to third as the 3-hole hitter Austin Krisick steps up to the batter's box. Austin Krisick struck out looking on a 3-2 breaking ball back in the first. So he swings and misses at a breaking ball 0-1. Peyton Cole also has shown some really good command. So both pitchers throwing a lot of strikes. Only 1 walk between the two of them. So that pitch is in the dirt, 1-1. 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. The Riptide on top, 2-0. Breaking ball does catch the inside corner, 1-2. That was a nice pitch. Started right at the hip of Krisick and broke right to that inside corner. Here's the 1-2. Catches the outside corner, strike 3, the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Peyton Cole. We go to the 4th. The Riptide still on top, 2-0. Start of the fourth now. Here in Irvine, here's a high fly ball from Josh Stinson, the leadoff man for the Foresters. Krisick is there, and he is under it to make the catch for the first out of the fourth. Spencer Edwards has been working up and down quickly through this Forester lineup. Still has yet to give up a hit. This is his fourth inning of work now. Only giving up one base runner. That was Kendall Pettis, who reached on a walk. Blake Penso, the catcher, ended up throwing him out over at second. It's the first pitch to Dylan Campbell. It was high 1-0. Dylan Campbell, the Texas Longhorn, fouls that ball out behind the plate, 1-1. Originally from Houston, Texas.
Just a reminder, Riptide fans, if you happen to recover a foul ball, please
In his freshman season, he hit 189 for the Longhorns.
ticket to win a baseball bat signed by all the Riptide players.
Here's the 1-1. Breaking ball, fouled off behind the plate once again, 1-2. Edwards showing great command and great speed difference between his fastball and that curveball. He's got 3 strikeouts. He's forced a lot of soft contact as well. And he gets Campbell down on strikes for his 4th strikeout of the ball game. 2 down for Nathan Rombach. Rombach was the first strikeout victim, actually, excuse me, the second strikeout victim of the ball game back in the first inning. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 1-0. That was a nice breaking ball. That was just off that outside corner. Goes right back to that breaking ball in the inside corner. That's going to be a called strike, 1-1. Tanner Otremba, also a strikeout victim last time up, awaits in the on-deck circle. We'll see if he gets a chance. And he will if Nathan Rombach is able to reach base safely. Rombach now looking at a 2-1 count. Here's a fly ball towards left. Austin Krisick running in. And he is there to end the inning. So 3 1-2-3 innings in the first 4 for Spencer Edwards. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The Riptide on top, 4-0.
Leading things off for the Riptide from USC.
Bottom of the 4th now. The leadoff man for the Riptide here in this inning is going to be Clay Owens, the 4-hole hitter. He struck out swinging back in the first. He swings and misses at the first pitch. That was a fastball, 0-1. That pitch runs a bit low, 1-1. Owens got a lot of pop in that bat. He hit 12 home runs this past season for USC. Also had 5 doubles and 1 triple. So he's a threat to go yard every time he steps up in that batter's box. Still waiting for his first Riptide home run. He does have a double. That's his only extra base hit so far since joining the Riptide. That fastball runs outside, 2-2 now. Owens joined the Riptide after the recommendation from third baseman Emilio Rosas. The two of them are teammates over at USC. As that was a big swing and a miss from Owens. Seemed to like he lost his footing there. That's his second strikeout in his 2 at-bats. So that brings up Gavin Hamovitz. Hamovitz drove in both runs, the only runs so far this season, or excuse me, so far tonight. Hamovitz now at Santa Barbara City College, originally started at CSU Bakersfield. As he looks at a ball, 1-0. Still yet to get some regular season college action due to COVID and redshirting. So that's a called strike over the plate, 1-1. Hamovitz joined the Riptide pretty late, only recently as he joined the Riptide. Still has had only 21 at-bats, as here's a ground ball down the third baseline, foul. Yeah, he's only had 21 at-bats this season. Best friends with one of the Riptide pitchers, Jake McBride. Actually, we had Jake up in our last broadcast, so if you guys want to go back and watch that one, he joined us for the final couple of innings up here in the booth. So that's where Hamovitz is living for the remainder of the summer. Hamovitz started this summer playing out in Tennessee before coming home. Originally from Santa Barbara. Count remains 1-2. Still 1 out. Peyton Cole still the man out on the mound. He's got 4 strikeouts today. Here's a grounder over to third. Dylan Campbell is there. Strong throw over to first is just in time to get Hamovitz. That first base umpire took a little bit of time to make the call, but Hamovitz beaten by the throw. And that brings up T.C. Simmons.
Now batting for the Riptide from the University of Connecticut, center fielder number 26, T.C. Simmons.
In the last home game, T.C. Simmons absolutely lit it up on his birthday. 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 singles. Also drove in a couple runs on those singles as he looks at a breaking ball called strike, 0-1. Simmons has really stepped it up in the middle of the Riptide lineup. Been a big part of that, turning things around since the All-Star break. The Riptide have only lost 4 games since coming off the All-Star break. 7-4 has been their record since then. Here's the 0-2 to Simmons. Lined out of play. Count's going to remain 0-2. Not sure if you guys can hear the superfan trying to get some chants going around the stadium here today. But as always he is. There's a breaking ball outside. 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Fastball runs outside, 2-2. Good eye there from Simmons. Simmons had a bit of a strikeout issue earlier in the summer, but has cleaned it up. Has been putting the ball in play a lot as of late and has been really successful. As I mentioned earlier, he's put almost 200 points, or well, more around 170 points or so, to his batting average over the last couple of weeks. Went through a really awesome stretch where he had a 4-hit game, a 3-hit game, and multiple 2-hit games as he swings and misses to end the 4th. We go to the 5th. The Riptide still on top, 2-0. Another gorgeous night here in Orange County. Got an awesome view of the backdrop. See some mountains out there, and the man on the mound tonight, Spencer Edwards, has been absolutely dealing. Still yet to give up a hit. Only allowed one base runner. That was a walk. Now through 4 innings. He's been working really quickly out on the mound. He's had great command of his pitches. So that pitch to Tanner Tremba is fouled off and out of play. 1-1 count now. Tremba struck out swinging in his first at-bat. That breaking ball's a bit low. 2-1. Bit of an error up on the scoreboard. Oh, now it's fixed. So Tremba has now worked himself into a hitter's count. That's a very rare thing that we've seen at all tonight. Spencer Edwards has done a really good job of jumping out in front of these hitters. Here's the 3-1 inside. Second walk of the ball game now for the Foresters. Their second base runner, Tanner Tremba, is aboard with a leadoff walk.
Now batting number 20, Kendall Pettis.
So here's Kendall Pettis. He reached on a walk but got thrown out over at second base while trying to steal. Nice throw from Penso to get him. It's very rare to see Pettis get thrown out on the bases. Only got tossed out 2 times for Oklahoma this past season. Penso went out to the mound for a quick mound visit, but he's back behind the plate. 2-0 count now. Pettis showed bunt on that last pitch, but pulled it away. He tried to bunt in his first at-bat as well. As he looks at a ball, that looked like it was just over the corner, but umpire didn't. 3-0. Deep breath from Edwards out there. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball over the middle. 3-1 now, so good pitch to get himself back in this at-bat. Tremba, a big guy, man over at first. Still pretty darn good base runner. He's stolen 6 bases this summer for the Foresters. Here's the ball ripped over to third. Nice catch from Emilio Rosas. That was almost just instinctual from the Riptide third baseman to get the first out of the inning. Just stuck his glove out to catch one that was just rocked down that line. So here's Joshua Morrissey. Morrissey's hitting .244 this summer as he looks at a called strike on the inside corner. That inside breaking ball to right-handed hitters has really been working for Spencer Edwards here tonight. He's gotten a lot of success on that pitch. The runner goes. Here's a chopper down the third baseline and foul. Tanner Tremba, the runner over on first, reached on a walk. Plays his college ball for the University of Arizona. As I mentioned before, not typical you see a guy that's 5'11", 215 pounds, steal bags so consistently. But he's already got 6 this summer. Here's the 0-2. Grounder over to short, could be 2. Diaz over to Hamovitz. Hamovitz over to first to get the out. 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. The Riptide have held the Foresters scoreless. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Riptide on top, 2-0.
from UCI, catcher number 25, Blake.
Bottom of the fifth now.
So,
Blake Penso leading things off for the Riptide. Peyton Cole back out on the mound for the Foresters. He got Penso striking out swinging back in the second. The Riptide still on top 2-0. This is the longest Peyton Cole has appeared in all season. This is now his 5th inning of work. He has not gone past or gone more than 2 innings all season. This is also his first start, so that might be something to do with it. There is a right-hander warming up in the bullpen for the Foresters. For the Riptide, Spencer Edwards has absolutely been dominant out there. Only allowed 2 base runners. Still no one warming up in their dugout, or excuse me, in their bullpen, and that's no surprise. 1-2 count now to Penso. And he gets down on strikes for the second time tonight. Peyton Cole with another strikeout. That's his 7th now of the ball game. And since that first inning, Peyton Cole has been absolutely dominant himself out on the mound. He's worked 3 straight 3 up, 3 down innings. And now he's facing Reed Spenrath, who we got to ground out over to first back in the second. And there's a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Both pitchers have done a phenomenal job of commanding their pitches all day. Both of them have done well locating that fastball as well as their breaking ball. Here's the 1-1 now to Spenrath. Hard line drive over to short, but Riedel is there to make the second out of the inning. 2 down for the 9-hole hitter, Emilio Rosas. The super fans screaming, "Go Sturs." I'm sure you guys heard that one, even through my little headset. Keith always getting the Riptide fans going, although for some reason he's cheering for the Foresters here tonight, as Rosas looks at a breaking ball called strike, 0-1. Rosas grounded out over to second in his first at-bat today. Here's the 0-1. That pitch just catches the inside corner, 0-2. That had a ton of break on it. Peyton Cole having a lot of success with that breaking ball, especially on the inside corner to right-handed hitters. Here's the 0-2. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. Soft grounder over to short. Riedel is there and throws it over to first to end the inning. We go to the 6th. The Riptide still on top, 2-0.
Number 8, Jack.
Jack Rydell leading things off for the Foresters. Edwards gets him with a called strike, 0-1 early. Edwards has been absolutely dominant out on the mound. This is his 6th inning of work. Yet to surrender a hit. Only surrendered 2 base runners. Both of them reached on a walk. This is the best outing we've seen from Edwards all summer. And there's a swing and a miss from Rydell. 1-1. Or excuse me, now 1-2. Rydell grounded out over to first in his first at-bat. Rydell plays his ball for North Carolina. Here's the 2-2 to Rydell. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The dominance for Spencer Edwards out on the mound continues. That is his 5th strikeout of the game. And that brings up Zachary Leach.
Now batting number 15, Zachary Leach.
Zachary Leach has struggled so far this summer. Only 4 hits in his 36 at-bats. Strikeouts have been the biggest thorn in his side, 18, so that's 50% of the time he's been striking out. The catcher's on his way to Arkansas next year. He's going to be teammates with the man in the on-deck circle, Ethan Bates. And they're going to be teammates with Riptide pitcher Matthew Magre. Nice fastball on the outside corner, 2-1 now from Edwards as he continues to just speed through this lineup. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball, called strike, 2-2. Leach grounded out over to third in his first at-bat. Here's a fly ball towards center. Simmons is there for the second out of the inning. There's a right-hander warming up now in the Riptide bullpen. Although with the way Edwards is pitching out there, I wouldn't be shocked to see Edwards go at least one more. This is exactly the type of outing that the Riptide needed from their starting pitcher, given the fact that their bullpen has just been run a little bit short. Getting a little tired with the heavy fixture list and the departures of Derek Shaver and Brady Lejeune Diacutis, to name a few. That's a called strike on the outside corner. Nice breaking ball. 1-1. It's going to be called the ball. 2-1 now. Bates had 9 hits in his 36 at-bats. 2 of them went for doubles in his freshman season for Arkansas. Big recruit. He was a top 500 recruit. He's the number 15 guy in Arkansas, but that doesn't matter. Spencer Edwards just absolutely dealing out on the mound. That's another strikeout. 6 innings, putting up zeros. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Riptide on top, 2-0. Cooper Randall going to be taking things over on the mound for the Santa Barbara Foresters. He's coming in relief of Peyton Cole. So Cole's night is done after 5 innings, giving up 2 hits, struck out 7 batters, giving up 2 runs. Cooper Randall going to be attending Oklahoma next year, facing the leadoff man for the Riptide to start the bottom of the 6th, and there's a called strike against Davis Diaz, 0-1. Randall played this past season for Navarro Community College. He's originally from Arlington, Texas. So just going across the Red River to play his college ball. It's a breaking ball called strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Diaz scored the first run of the ball game after singling back in the first. Grounded out over to third in the 3rd inning. Here's the 0-2 to Diaz. Swung on and missed on the fastball. Strike 3. Good start to the night for Cooper Randall. That's his first strikeout. We talked about how Peyton Cole had been elite for the Foresters all summer. Well, so is Cooper Randall. In 10 appearances, he's posted a 1.22 ERA, struck out 20 batters, only walked 5, only given up 12 hits. His last appearance actually came against the Riptide when the Foresters won 5-1 on July 23rd. Randall went 3 in the 3rd innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 3 batters, did not give up a run. And now he's ahead in the at-bat against Colton Freeman. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed quickly. Ahead 0-2 now. It's Randall seems to be working pretty quickly. Showing great command of that breaking ball and fastball. And he's only just entered. Freeman scored the the second run of the ballgame as he fouls that pitch off to stay alive. He was driven in by Gavin Hamovitz. Freeman reached on an error. He grounded out over to third in the second at bat. Freeman is down 0-2 in this count. However, he's not accustomed to striking out much at all. Only 14 strikeouts in his 98 at-bats this season. He's been a consistent bat, a consistent on-base man all season at the top of that Riptide lineup as he fouls that pitch down the third baseline. The count's going to remain 0-2. 31 hits and 18 runs for Colton Freeman this summer for the Riptide. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Cooper Randall after he gets Colton Freeman down on strikes. Now a 2-out chance for Austin Krissick. Krissick struck out looking both times up against Peyton Cole. Clay Owens also struck out in both of his at-bats, awaits in the on-deck circle, so we'll have to see if he gets a chance. The first pitch to Krissick is a called strike on the fastball, 0-1. All 3 pitchers that we've seen today have shown fantastic command of that strike zone. Only 2 hits between both teams as Krissick swings and misses at that big breaking ball, 0-2. Definitely the start that Cooper Randall and the Foresters coaching staff were hoping for. Krissick does well to foul that pitch off. I think it went off the catcher, Zachary Leach, but he looks like he's all right. Count's going to remain 0-2. The sun's still not quite set here in Irvine. As Krissick swings and misses, Cooper Randall comes in and strikes out the side. We go to the 7th. The Riptide still on top, 2-0.
6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs. 2-0. 6 inning with no hits, no runs.
Spencer Edwards returns to the mound for his 7th inning of work. Edwards has been absolutely dominant out there. No hits, only given up 2 base runners. Both of them reached on a walk, and most importantly, has not given up a run yet. Here's a chopper foul, 1-1. Pinch hitter to start this inning. Looks like that is Carson Wells from USC. He's coming in release of Josh Stinson at the top of the lineup. As Wells is now looking at a 2-1 count as he swings and misses at a big breaking ball, 2-2. That pitch has just been absolutely on point from Spencer Edwards all day. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Spencer Edwards, great night, just continues. That is his 7th strikeout now of the ball game. And he's going to face Dylan Campbell. Dylan Campbell, the shortstop, who's now moved over to third base for the Foresters. 0 for 2 tonight. Flew out to center in his first at-bat, and then struck out swinging back in the 4th. Here's a foul ball out of play, 1-1. This is the longest that we've seen Edwards go all season. Back on July 15th, we saw him go 6 innings in the win against the Academy Barons. He struck out 6 hitters, did not give up a run, gave up 6 hits. There's that big breaking ball once again, 1-2. The Riptide have a right-hander warming up in the bullpen, but the way that Edwards looks out there, I mean, why change it? It's a close game, and it's working. Here's the 1-2 pitch, fouled off by Campbell, so he does a good job to stay alive here. He's already been a strikeout victim 1 time. Campbell, one of the better hitters in this lineup for the Foresters, came into today hitting .345. Does have a lot of pop in that bat. He's got 3 home runs, meaning he is tied for the lead this season for the Foresters. Here's a line drive towards right field. That's going to get down for the first hit of the ball game for the Foresters. So the no bid from Edwards is over. However, I mean, you cannot deny the fact that this guy has just been absolutely sensational here today. Here's the first baseman now, Nathan Rombach. Coming into the game, Rombach was hitting .288. He hit .222 this past year for Texas Tech. He was a freshman, originally from Mansfield, Texas. Here's the 1-0. That pitch catches the inside corner, 1-1. Dylan Campbell, the man over at first base. That was the first hit of the ball game for the Foresters, the 3rd hit overall. He's off. Edwards throws over to first. They got him in a pickle. Diaz is there, but the runner Campbell is safe over at second base. The throw from Spenrath just not in time over to second. So this is the first opportunity now for the Foresters with the runner in scoring position. One and one count to Rombach. Edwards takes a look at Campbell. Looks like he's going to go, but he decides to stay. So Rombach fouls that pitch out of play, 1-2. Tanner Otremba awaits in the on-deck circle. Infield shifted over towards third. As that pitch jams the hands of Rombach, but it's going to be just 2 inside, 2-2. We haven't heard a cheer out of the super fan in a while. That's a rarity. Keith is always one of the loudest fans here at the ballpark. Here's the 2-2 to Rombach. Inside once again, but a little bit too inside. 3-2. Still 2-0. The only 2 runs were scored back in the first inning. The second baseman for the Riptide drove in Davis Diaz and Colton Freeman. Here's a chopper over to third. Rosas is there, takes a look at Campbell, but throws it over to first at Spenrath. And Spenrath does well to tag the base. That throw from Rosas was high, but it wasn't just enough to get Rombach 2 down. Spenrath using all of that 6'5" frame. As Mitch Levere trots over to the mound, it looks like Edwards' night might be done. And if it is the end, what an outing. And I think there's an argument that that was one of the best outings of any Riptide pitcher that we've seen all season. Tanner Otremba will be the man at the plate. But no, Mitch Levere showing some faith in his left-hander. He's going to let him stay out there. With a runner on second and 2 down, he's facing Tanner Otremba. Otremba 0 for 1 tonight. Edwards got him swinging. Back in the second. Otremba reached on a walk back in the 5th. Otremba, the Arizona Wildcat, looks at a called strike, 0-1. In his sophomore season, got some really good play time, had 17 starts for the Wildcats. He hit .269. His best work came in the postseason, where he was the Tucson Regional All-Region team. As that pitch gets behind Penso, Campbell goes over to third. As I was saying before, he was on the Regional All-Tournament team. He hit .333 in the Tucson Regional. Arizona went on to the College World Series. Otremba started game 2, went 0 for 2. Here's a high fly ball towards left. Austin Krissick giving chase. A diving catch attempt, but that looks like it was just foul. Almost a spectacular catch from Austin Krissick. However, this at-bat will continue. Tanner Otremba has some pop in that bat. 6 extra base hits this past season for the Wildcats, where he hit .269. 2 of them were home runs. Penso out on the mound talking to his pitcher, Edwards, who's pitched an absolute gem here tonight. The sun still is yet to go down. Usually around this time of the ball game, it's in that blind time that we always talk about. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chopper over to short. Diaz making run. Wrong throw over to first. Not in time to get Otremba. 1 run will score. Dylan Campbell getting the Foresters on the mound. Infield single from Tanner Otremba. And it looks like that might end the night of Spencer Edwards. Unfortunately, that's not the way he wanted to end his night, but what a performance and a standing ovation around the stadium for Spencer Edwards. Edwards goes 6 2/3, gives up 2 hits, only 1 run, and he's put his team in a fantastic place to win this ball game, getting some high fives and some pats on the back as he enters the dugout. We'll be right back as a new pitcher is going to take the mound. Riptide on top, 2-1. Hayden Murta enters the game in relief of Spencer Edwards. Hayden Murta, this is making his second appearance now for the Riptide. He pitched yesterday in a 3-2 win in San Luis Obispo. He went 2 innings, got the win. Runner goes. Penso, the throw over to second, not in time, so a stolen base for Tanner Otremba. We saw Penso throw out Kendall Pettis, the man at the plate, back in the second inning, but that throw was not enough to get Otremba, the designated hitter. Hayden Murta, another local guy from Orange County, lives in Ladera Ranch. Tall right-hander from Azusa Pacific, 6'6". Murta's going to be a redshirt sophomore this year as he finds himself ahead after that fastball 1-2. Murta's got an electric arm. His fastball ranges 93 to 95. Also features a power slider. That's his strikeout pitch. Let's see if he goes with it here. 1-2 count. Strong and missed on that slider to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Riptide on top, 2-1.
That concludes the first half of the 7th inning with designator number 3, Clay Owens.
Clay Owens leading things off here in the bottom of the 7th for the Riptide. Cooper Randall returns to the mound for the Foresters. He struck out the side back in the 6th after coming in relief of the starter Peyton Cole. Owens has struck out twice here today. Both of them swinging against Peyton Cole. Coming into today, he only had 2 strikeouts, so he doubled that one. Came into today hitting .364 for the Riptide. He hit .253 for the USC Trojans this past season, and he's quickly ahead 3-0. Gavin Haimovitz waits in the on-deck circle. He's the only player to drive in a run for the Riptide here today. There's a called strike on the outside corner against Owens, 3-1. There's a called strike on the inside corner on a fastball. Cooper Randall really throwing some heat out there. It's got a lot of swing and a miss stuff. I would look out for that big breaking ball here if I were Clay Owens. Struck out 52 hitters this past season for Navarro College. And he's got Owens down on strikes once again. 4 straight strikeouts now for Cooper Randall since entering this ball game. And that brings up Gavin Hamovitz, as I mentioned before. His double drove in both runs for the Riptide back in the first inning, and since then, the Riptide hitters have been held hitless. Here's the first pitch to Hamovitz. Called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Randall's got that electric fastball coming from that three-quarter delivery. One and one count now to Gavin Hamovitz. One out. Cooper Randall got Clay Owens down on strikes. Hamovitz does well to foul off the breaking ball, 1-2. And I mean, that pitch just has got so much movement on it. For a right-handed hitter, it looks like it's starting, like it might even be close to hitting them and just breaks right over the heart of the plate. T.C. Simmons awaits in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-2 to Hamovitz. That fastball runs outside, 2-2. Gavin Hamovitz, originally from Santa Barbara, played his high school ball for Oak Park out in the Conejo Valley. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Line drive down the first base line and just foul. That looked like it might have been the second extra base hit for Hamovitz on the day, but that thing was maybe only inches foul. Unlucky there for the Riptide. Two-two count still, one out. Cooper Randall facing Gavin Hamovitz. Here's a chopper foul. That one got behind the catcher, Zachary Leach. Two and two still. And that pitch is going to be in the gap. The second hit of the ball game for Gavin Hamovitz, and the first since for the Riptide since his first back in that first inning. So a one-out single for Gavin Hamovitz did well to go the other way. So that brings up T.C. Simmons with one man on and one man out.
Now batting for the Riptide from the University of Connecticut.
That also broke the 4 straight strikeout streak for Cooper Randall since entering the ball game. T.C. Simmons tonight is 0 for 3, though he has been swinging the bat well as of late. He looks at a ball to start this inning, 1-0. I think a big difference between Cooper Randall last inning and Cooper Randall this inning has been the command of that fastball. He's thrown more balls and fallen behind and at bats here in this inning, and he just did not do that back in the 6th. He checks on Hamovitz over at first. Here's a line drive out towards center. This could be... Oh, nope, it's not. Kendall Pitts out there with a nice catch. Or actually, that is Grant Wells. Grant Wells and Kendall Pettis have switched spots out in the outfield. So that's the second time we've seen 2 Forrester outfield or infield players switch. We saw Dylan Campbell and Jack Riedel switch positions from short and third. Kendall Pettis now moves over to center as Grant Wells goes over to right. Here's Blake Penso. He's been a strikeout victim both times up. As Campbell checks on Hamovitz over at first once again. Gavin Hamovitz over at first base, reached on a single. Good base runner. Cooper Randall keeping him in check once again. That's back-to-back throws. Over to first. Hamovich has one stolen base on the season for the Riptide. Here's the first pitch finally to Penso. It's going to be a ball outside, 1-0. Penso's been held hitless in his last two appearances for the Riptide against the Saints and the Foresters. There's just another swing and a miss. 1-1 now. Penso, a big guy, still yet to play college ball. This is his first college action. Going to be attending UC Irvine. 6'3", 215 pounds. We've seen that bat hit the ball a long way already. Here's a chopper up the middle. The pitcher's there, and he flips it over to first to end the inning. To the eighth we go. The Riptide on top here in a tight one, 2-1. Hayden Murda returns to the mound for the Riptide. This is his second inning of work. He only faced one batter coming in relief of Spencer Edwards, who was absolutely dominant out on the mound. Edwards went 6 2/3, gave up 2 hits, only 1 run. Murda entered to face Kendall Pitts, and he struck him out. He's going to be facing Josiah Morrissey to start the 8th. There's a chopper up the middle. Diaz is there. Barehands it over to first, but not in time. So an infield single for Josiah Morrissey. It's only the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Foresters. It's been a pitcher's duel between these two teams. All 4 pitchers so far today have been absolutely excellent in terms of locating their pitches. 2-1 scoreline, 3 hits to either side. There's a called strike on the fastball. 0-1. Hayden Murda, a power pitcher. Went to San Juan Hills High School. There's a fastball once again. 1-1. Murda's able to just power by these hitters that he faces with that electric fastball. Ranges up to 93 to 95 miles an hour. Also has got that power slider. He's facing Jack Riedel now. Here's a hard line drive out towards left center field. Simmons and Krissick collide out there. That's not good for the Riptide. Morrissey rounding third, and he is going to score to tie the ball game. Hopefully Krissick and Simmons are okay out there. This is that time of the day that we call the blind hour. The balls up that get popped up are just so hard to see, especially out in left center field. It looks like Simmons and Krissick are going to be okay. But we got a tie ball game here for the double from Jack Riedel. That drives in Josiah Morrissey, and that's the first run and the first two hits that Hayden Murda has given up in his Riptide career. So here's Zachary Leach. Leach is 0 for 2 tonight with a strikeout. That was against Spencer Edwards back in the 6th. Still no outs. Riedel over at second base. Leach shows bunts but pulled it back. 2-1. That pitch from Murda just a bit outside. Ethan Bates, the right fielder, awaits in the on-deck circle. He flew out to center last time up. There's a big swing and a miss from Leach on the powerful fastball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss on the slider. The second strikeout of the ball game for Hayden Murda. 1 down. And that brings up Ethan Bates, the right fielder.
Now batting number 3, Ethan Bates.
Ethan Bates does a good job hitting right-handed hitters. All of his hits so far this summer have come against right-handed pitchers. And he's hitting .233 for the Foresters. That first pitch run a bit outside. Bates is now looking at a 1-0 count. Grant Wells, the man in the on-deck circle. Here's a grounder over to first. Diving stop from Spenrath. Tosses it over to Murda to get the second out of the inning. Riedel advances over to third. And this now brings up Grant Wells. This is the second at-bat for Wells since coming in relief of Josh Stinson. He struck out against Spencer Edwards back in the 7th.
Now batting number 9, Carson Wells.
Excuse me, Carson Wells. Grant Wells is the starting quarterback for Marshall. I don't know how I mixed that one up, but I did. I apologize. Carson. Called strike against Wells. Wells hit .273 this past season for the Trojans. Teammates with the designated hitter for the Riptide and the third baseman, Clay Owens and Emilio Rosas, respectively. Murda's got him in a 0-2 count here. Wells struck out 21 times for the Trojans. Here's the 0-2 from Wells. Fouled off by Wells. Down the third baseline and out of play. Saw Hayden Murda strike out 22 batters for Azusa Pacific. He went with the slider there. Wells does very well to lay off of that pitch. That pitch was absolutely nasty, but the count is going to move to 1-2. Jack Rydell, the man over at third base, he represents the go-ahead run for the Foresters. 2-2 ball game here, top of the first. Hard line drive, but foul down the first baseline. Count's going to remain 1-2. Wells doing a good job of staying alive after falling behind 0-2 on the first two pitches. See if Murda goes back to that slider. Oh, but he's going to hit the shin of Wells. So Wells is now aboard with 2 outs. Runners on the corners now. First jam in a Riptide uniform that Hayden Murda has faced. Here's Dylan Campbell. He reached on a single and scored last time up back in the 7th. That was the first run of the ball game for the Foresters. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Saw Campbell hit 189 for Texas out in the Big 12, a conference that it looks like they're on their way out of with the Oklahoma Sooners. All things are pointing to Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC as that pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1 now. Although it doesn't look like it's going to happen until 2025, but what do I know? 1-1 count now to Campbell. Line drive towards left field. That's going to score Rydell. And the Foresters are going to take the lead. Wells rounding third base. But the third base coach is going to hold him over at third. The tag not in time. So an RBI double for Dylan Campbell to give the Foresters the 3-2 lead. Their first lead of the ball game. Here's Nathan Rombach. Rombach yet to reach base safely here tonight. 0 for 2. And he's got 2 runners in scoring position. A good opportunity for him to try and extend the Foresters' lead. That pitch is low, 1-0. Rombach drove in 34 runs this past season for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Good RBI chance for him as there's a slider that catches the outside corner, 1-1. He's driven in 17 this summer for the Foresters, and that actually leads them. So this is the guy that they want at the plate with runners in scoring position. There's a big swing and a miss from Rombach on the slider. It looked like he was definitely looking for a fastball. Count now moves to 1-2. It's going to be huge for the Riptide if Murda is able to get out of here with the damage only being 2 runs. The Riptide now trail by 1. Here's the 1-2. Rombach does well to lay off that slider. 2-2. Wells, the runner over at third. Campbell, the runner at second. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. And that'll end the inning. Wait a second. The umpire called it as a strike, but now he's calling it as a ball. And Mitch Levere is not happy about that, and none of the Riptide fans seem to be happy either. Actually, they're going to say it was a foul ball. It's going to be a drop foul tip. Mitch Levere was heated out there. Nonetheless, the count remains 2-2. 2 down, runners on second and third. The Riptide now trail by 1 run as the Foresters have already put up 2 in this inning. There's a chopper foul. Count's going to remain 2-2. Hayden Murda thought he got out of the inning a couple pitches ago after the umpire called strike 3, but then later changed and said it was a foul ball. Nonetheless, still 2-2 after 2 straight foul balls. That fastball runs outside, 3-2. Here's the full count pitch. Swung on and missed. A huge strikeout for Hayden Murda. Although the Santa Barbara Foresters put up 2, they take a 3-2 lead. Penso Spenrath Rosas is the due-up as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Reed's leading things off for the Riptide here in the bottom of the 8th is Reed Spenrath. The Riptide now trail by 1 run after the Foresters put up 2 in the top half of the 8th. New pitcher on the mound for the Foresters is Steven Zobak. Zobak plays his college ball for the Cal for the Golden Bears. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, 1-1. Zobak's fastball usually ranges from about 88 to 92 miles an hour. Also features a curveball, slider, changeup. Big-time fastball pitcher to lefties, and he gives him Spenrath a fastball once again. Spenrath now behind 1-2. His strikeout pitch to left-handed hitters is that fastball, and he goes right to it. 4-pitch strikeout to start the night for Steven Zobak, and he retires Spenrath down on strikes. Here's the 9-hole hitter for the Riptide, Emilio Rosas. Leadoff man Davis Diaz steps up into the on-deck circle. Hasn't quite been the night for Emilio Rosas at the plate. 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts. So he swings and fouls off the first pitch fastball. 0-1. Zobak likes to go to that slider when he finds himself ahead in the count. And there is that slider. Rosas fouls it off and out of play down the first base line. 0-2. The Riptide are running out of opportunities to try and regain the lead. They scored 2 runs back in the first. And since then, the Foresters have put up 3 in the last 2 as Rosas is down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Steven Zobak since entering the ball game. Top of the lineup now with Davis Diaz. Diaz actually scored the first run of the ball game after reaching on a single. Since then, he's grounded out and struck out. Here's the first pitch to Diaz. Ground ball over to second. And that's going to get beyond Josiah Morrissey. So Davis Diaz has got himself a 2-out infield single. That could be the spark that the Riptide offense needs to get back in this ball game. And here's Colton Freeman. Freeman scored back in that first inning as well. He reached on an error, but since then posted identical stats to Diaz before that last at-bat. He grounded out to third and struck out as well.
Now batting for the Riptide from Dartmouth College, right fielder number 17, Colton Freeman.
Davis Diaz, a good runner over at first, even though we've only seen him steal 1 base this summer for the Riptide. 1-0 now to Colton Freeman. Colton Freeman, a good 2-out hitter. He had an 8-game hitting streak earlier this season. For that foul ball, the count now moves to 1-1. Austin Krissick awaits in the on-deck circle. We'll see if he gets a chance here with 2 outs. Only 4 outs remaining now for the Riptide. Here's a foul ball out of play, 1-2. Strikeout pitch for Zobak is that slider to right-handed hitters. Throws that about 40% of the time. Throws a fastball 38% of the time. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed on the changeup. He fooled me. He fooled Freeman. And that'll end the inning. We go to the 9th. The Riptide trail 3-2. Ninth inning now. The Riptide fell behind back in the 8th. They now trail 3-2 to the Foresters. Josiah Castillo taking over for Hayden Murda out on the mound. He's facing Tanner Otremba to start the 9th. That pitch was outside, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch is fouled off behind the plate, 1-1. Good outing the last 2 times out from Josiah Castillo. Both came against the Oaks. He went 3 innings, gave up 3 hits, did not give a run. Then the time before that, he gave up 2 hits in 2 innings, did not give up a run either. Struck out 4 batters combined. There's that slow breaking ball, but that's going to be outside, 2-1. Josiah Castillo, the 6'1" right-hander, attends Pepperdine, originally from Corona. There's a fastball outside, 3-1. Tonight, Otremba, he's 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Also walked back in the 5th. He fouls off that fastball. Full count now. Castillo doesn't strike out a ton of hitters. Much more of a soft contact type pitcher. Has 16 strikeouts in his 14 2/3 innings of work. As Otremba fouls that pitch off behind the plate. Count remains 3-2. The Riptide jumped out to a 2-0 lead early in this ball game, but since then, the Foresters have came back, scoring 1 in the 7th and 2 in the last inning back in the 8th to take the 3-2 lead. The Riptide got a phenomenal start from their starting pitcher, Spencer Edwards. He went 7 innings, only gave up 1 run. The Foresters pitchers themselves have been pretty good. Peyton Cole went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, but since then, the Foresters have put up a bunch of zeros against the Riptide hitters, as Otremba is aboard with a leadoff walk. And that brings up Kendall Pettis. Actually, we are going to have a pinch hitter for the Foresters. That is Andrew Kachel from Fresno State. Kachel, second on the team in average, and he's got himself a first pitch hit. Otremba rounding second base. The throw from Simmons back over to second, not in time. Otremba almost got himself into a bit of trouble. But Kachel got his 29th hit of the season. 2 on with nobody out for Josiah Morrissey. And there we go with Keith trying to get a Riptide and a Foresters chant going around the ballpark. Still a good-sized crowd. It's been a tight one. Good pitchers duel, although we've seen a little bit more offense as of late. Morrissey shows bunt. Pencil throws back over to second, not in time. Count is now 0-1. The Foresters atop the division with an 18-7 record. Riptide down in 4th with 13-13. Bunt. Castillo unable to make the catch, but they are able to get the lead runner over at third. 1 out now with runners still on first and second. And that brings up Jack Riedel, who drove in the go-ahead run with a double back in the 7th. Actually, excuse me, he drove in the game-tying run back in the 7th. Today, Riedel is 1 for 3. That fastball is a bit outside, 1-0. Riedel hit 200 in his limited action as a freshman at North Carolina. Only appeared in 5 games. So that pitch is fouled off and out of play. 2-1 now. He had a double in his debut for the Tar Heels against James Madison. He went 2 for 4 in that game. And those were his only 2 hits of the season. Riedel originally from Houston, Texas. He was an all-state player at Jormy at Memorial High School. And he's now fallen behind after that fastball on the outside corner. 1-2 now. The Riptide really need Castillo to get out of this inning without surrendering a run. Riptide still trail by 1 run. Top of the 9th inning, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Castillo steps off the mound, but now he's back on it. Zachary Leach, the catcher, awaits in the on-deck circle. Tremble and Cachel, the man on the on base. Penso does well to block that pitch, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 to Riedel. Runners go. Pooched out towards left. T.C. Simmons and Krissick are there. Krissick makes the catch, and both runners are forced to return back to first and second, respectively. 2 outs now for Zachary Leach.
Now batting number 15, Zachary.
Tonight, Leach, he's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. This is the first time that Josiah Castillo has faced the Foresters. First pitch swing and foul off. Out of play behind the plate. 0-1. Defensively today, the Riptide have been good. No errors. The Foresters have put up 2, one of which allowed the second run to reach base safely. That was Colton Freeman back in the first. There's a breaking ball that runs inside on the hands. 1-1. Only 2 more home games for the Riptide left this summer. They play the Arroyo Seco Saints on Friday, and they finish out the regular season against the Foresters on Sunday. There's a swing and a miss. Both runners steal and advance safely. Over to second and third, so 2 runners in scoring position now for Leach. One and 2 count, 2 outs, top of the 9th, runners in scoring position. Here's the 1-2. Fastball outside, 2-2. Only 3 games remaining in the regular season for the Riptide, so a win tonight would go a big-time long way in terms of clinching a playoff spot. They have a 1.5 game lead on Conejo. They play Conejo on Saturday. There's a ground ball foul. Actually hit the first base coach for the Foresters. The Foresters featuring a big coaching staff. It looks like they have 6 coaches, just that I see. They got 3 just outside the dugout. Actually, 4 outside the dugout. 2 on the bases. Here's a soft ground ball over to third. Rosas is there. Throw on the run over to first to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Riptide trail by 1, 3-2. The do-up, Austin Krissick, Clay Owens, Gavin Hamovitz. Bottom of the ninth, the Riptide trail 3-2 to the Foresters. The leadoff man here is going to be Austin Krisick. Hasn't been his night, but can obviously turn things around here. He struck out 3 times. The closer for the Foresters is going to be Nick Proctor. He's got 2 saves on the season. In his 13 appearances, he's only given up 1 earned run. That's resulted in a 0.54 ERA. There's a breaking ball called strike. Proctor's got that sidearm delivery. Fastball, slider, changeup. That slider that you just saw is his best pitch. It ranges from about 77 to 81 miles an hour. It's got a lot of break to it. He goes right back to it as Krisick fouls that pitch off, 0-2. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes right back to that slider. Throws it 60% of time to right-handed hitters with 2 strikes. Clay Owens awaits in the on-deck circle. Here's the 0-2. Krisick check swing. Did he go? He did not. Did well to lay off that big breaking slider. That pitch was outside. The Riptide jumped out to a 2-0 lead back in the first inning. However, a run in the 7th and 2 in the 8th gave the Foresters the 3-2 lead. There's a fastball that runs outside, 2-2. Good eye from Krisick. Austin Krisick coming into today, hitting really well. He's hitting .330 on the season. He's only struck out 1 time in the last 7 games coming into tonight, where he struck out 3 times. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 1 down, so the Riptide only have 2 outs remaining to try and tie this ball game up or win it here in the bottom of the 9th. And that brings up Clay Owens. Owens also not having himself a very good night. He's struck out swinging 3 times. Coming into today, Owens had only struck out twice. He'd been swinging the bat well himself. He had 12 home runs for USC. The Riptide could really use one here. Pac-12 matchup, Nick Proctor plays for Cal. Teammates with the last pitcher that we saw, Steven Zobak, for the Foresters. Obviously, Clay Owens plays for USC. There's that big breaking slider on the outside corner, 0-1. That pitch is absolutely disgusting. Features a lot more fastballs to left-handed hitters. Here's the 0-1. He does go with that fastball, but it's outside, 1-1. For Nick Proctor this past season for the Golden Bears, in 33.1 innings pitched, he gave up an ERA of 5.94. Struck out 32 batters. Gave up 34 hits. Walked 11. 1-2 count now after that foul ball. Gavin Haimovitz awaits in the on-deck circle. He's the one of 2 guys with multiple hits tonight for the Riptide. Davis Diaz and Gavin Haimovitz have accounted for 4, actually all 4, of the Riptide hits tonight. The Foresters have gotten 5 themselves. Here's the 1-2 to Owens. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Nick Proctor. And that means Austin Krisick and Clay Owens both have gone 0-for with 4 strikeouts. Last chance for the Riptide with Gavin Haimovitz. He's been swinging the bat well tonight. He had a double, drove in 2 runs back in the first. Had a single back in the second. Coming into today, he was playing well as well. He was hitting .450. He's got 11 hits and his 23 at-bats for the Riptide, and they need one here. Here's the first pitch. Shows bunt, but pulls it back. It's going to be a called strike on the outside corner nonetheless. 0-1. This season, Nick Proctor now has struck out 30 batters, only given up 3 hits and 5 walks. The pitchers we've seen from both sides have been spectacular, especially the last couple of relievers for the Foresters and the starting pitcher for the Riptide, Spencer Edwards. Be a shame if the Riptide are unable to capitalize on the excellent outing they've had from their starter, one of the best that they've seen all year, but they're down to their final strike. 0-2 count now to Hamovitz. Does well to lay off that pitch, 1-2. T.C. Simmons awaiting in the on-deck circle, just waiting for a chance, hoping he gets a chance here. One and two count to Gavin Hamovitz. He's facing the closer, Nick Proctor. The Riptide trail by 1. They're down to their final strike. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2-2. There's that big slider that we were talking about earlier. Two and two count. 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. The Riptide coming into this ballgame at 13-13. There's a fastball called strike on the outside corner to end the ballgame. The Riptide fall to the Santa Barbara Foresters 3-2. The Riptide fall to 13-14 in the league. Their total record now moves to 21-16. The Foresters still atop of the South Division. Their record sits at 18-7 now, or excuse me, 19-7 now, 27-7 total. They're not going to be going to the playoffs. However, the Riptide still in the middle of a playoff fight. They now lead only by a half a game to the Conejo Oaks. They play them on Saturday. They're back here against the Arroyo Seco Saints after a day off at 6 o'clock. So Jonathan and I will be back. Your final score, 3-2, as the Riptide are unable to capitalize on the big outing from their starting pitcher, Spencer Edwards. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the first inning. However, in the 7th, the Santa Barbara Foresters were able to score 1 run. That was driven in by Tanner Otremba. Dylan Campbell scored the first run. Then in the 8th, Jack Riedel drove in Josiah Morrissey. And then he scored after a RBI from Dylan Campbell. So that's how things end. The Riptide fall to the Foresters 3-2. We'll see you back here against the Saints on Friday. Good night. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. The final score,